What's up guys, it's Andy and Jay from Vanguard Tricking. Today we are going to be going through an awesome warm-up for you guys to do before your tricking session.
Let's get to it. So before we get into our stretches, we're going to get ourselves started with a few minutes of light cardio to elevate our heart rate and get our muscles warm, ready to do our stretches.
So with this kind of warm-up, stick 3 to 5 minutes on the clock and keep changing the exercises as you're going and change the intensity up until you can feel your heart rate really start to elevate. Some people might need a little bit longer. If you're super fit, can take a little bit longer, but make sure by the end of it, your heart rate is definitely up.
Okay, so now we're a little bit warmer. We're going to start to go through some of our dynamic stretches. If you don't know what they are, that just means stretches with movement, and we're going to be working from our feet all the way up to our head. So we'll start off by taking the ankles through all of their ranges of motion. Make sure you are making as big a circle as possible.
So just going through calf raises, try and lift yourself up, hold it there for a split second, and then go back down again. And repeat that a few times. Then you can start to pull your toes up as hard as you can off the floor, and that will work the muscles runs along the front of your shins. Move the knees side to side and making circles, just make sure that the blood is flowing as far as it can around your knee joint. And going all the way down and all the way up, just to make sure that everything is working properly. For this one, we're going to go opposite hand and leg. So my left hand onto my right foot. I'm going to hook it around until I grab my little toe side. And then from here, I'm going to turn my foot over so it's facing the opposite way. And then from here, I'm going to lift it up and I'm just going to pull it over to the side, nice and gently. You should feel stretch running all the way down here and even into your glutes as well. Do this a few times and then change over, opposite hand, opposite foot, same drill.
Next is our leg swings. So you can start these low, you just swing in the back leg and you just gradually get in higher until you reach about 10 to 20 repetitions until you feel you're at your maximum flexibility level. Next thing we're going to be doing is going to be some more leg lifts. These are going to be the side leg lifts, so grab yourself a chair or a wall or anything else you can just lean on that's around you during the session. We're going to start again low on the stretch and try and get it to our maximum height. Make sure you turn your base leg away, so toes facing away from the leg that you're swinging. Make sure there's room for the leg to pass. We're trying to keep it as straight as possible, but also trying to keep the foot slightly side on, heel up a little bit higher than the toes if anything. So, working through them this way. Again, we're going to go for about 10 to 20 reps on this until you can start to feel your hips opening up, getting to their maximum level of flexibility. Next dynamic stretch that we're going to do is going to be a similar motion to a hook kick. This is also similar to the back leg swing, which Andy covered in the Webster video, so that link should be above if you want to check that one out. But for this stretch, again, you're going to have something in front of you, ledge, chair, wall, whatever it may be. We're going to start by getting our leg that's about to swing across our body. Then we're going to be drawing a circle on the floor so it actually goes behind us. This is really good for opening up the hip and also starting to stretch our back. As we go around, I'm going to start to lift it and look over my opposite shoulder and try and spot my foot. As we go through the motion, then start to take it a little bit higher, same as all these other ones. And you should feel a good stretch on your quad, hip, and maybe your lower back.
So if you're new to tricking or if you're just new to these stretches, they are ones you can do all the time. Don't necessarily limit yourself to one set of 10 to 20. You can do 2 or 3 sets. If you want to do even more, these are fantastic stretches to do first thing in the morning. Get out of bed, do a couple leg swings, get on with your day.
Next one we're going to do is going to be similar to the hook kick dynamic stretch, but this one's a little bit more active and we're going to be involved in a roundhouse kick motion as well. So grab a chair or a wall, 2 hands on the wall, and we're going to be lifting our knee to face it. From there, I'm going to swing the leg out and we're going to do a hook kick motion, letting the leg trail behind me, and we're going to bring it back, roundhouse kick and back in. You can go through a few reps of these, again, 10, 20 times, taking it up a little bit higher on each one, trying to hit all the angles that you're going to be using on your tricks. Next, if you are going to be kicking in your tricking session, then the next ones are really, really good for getting your chambers higher and starting to get some blood flow into the hips. Again, grab something you can lean on, hand on the wall, and we're going to chamber our leg. We want to get our foot and our knee at the same level, mostly for this, not like that, but keeping it together, and we're going to go to our highest point that we can comfortably chamber, and then we're just going to use a little bit of momentum to go up and down, keeping the foot and the knee the same level like we said, and we'll do this 30 times. That's 1, okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 30 times, swap the legs, do it the other side.
The next one, we're going to have the legs about 2 to 3 shoulder widths apart, and then from here we're just going to reach down towards the floor, and then from here, if you can get the hands to the floor, great. If not, don't worry about it. We're just going to bring ourselves over to one side, and go 1, 2, 3, and then walk them all the way over to the other side, 1, 2, 3, and then hands in front, hands in between, hands behind. Then we come back to the center. You can repeat that 1, 3 to 5 times, depending on how much you need to get to your maximum flexibility. Then the next one from here, we'll bring the leg in just a little bit, and all we're going to do is keep one leg straight, and we're going to bend the other one all the way down as far as we can. You put the hands on the floor where you need them, and then we're going to switch over to the other side, bring it all the way down. Try and, on this one, keep the heel flat on the floor and get a good stretch down, and then come around, and then down we go again. Again, repeat that 3 to 5 times, or as many times as you need to get to your maximum flexibility. If you want to be super hardcore, you can do it with no hands as well. So lifting the arms out in front, all the way down, and then over to the other side, all the way down. Use your arms as a counterbalance, hold them out in front of you. Good way to make sure all your muscles are doing what they're supposed to. So once we've done that, we can move on to our box splits and our front splits position. So if we get the legs out as far as we can get them comfortably, then all we're going to do is just turn to the side and drop that knee onto the floor into front splits position. A few bounces there, back to the center, a few bounces, and then over to the other side, a few bounces here. Then what we can do is, once we're in our front splits position, we can go down, chest towards the floor, and then sitting ourselves back up again, chest towards the floor, and back up again. And then just keep rotating through these positions here, because they're the most similar to our tricking motion. In the splits position as well, we can mix it up, and we can start to try and push the hip down towards the floor, and then over to the other side, pushing the hip down towards the floor here. Messing around with these positions will mean that you'll be able to get into range of motions that you've never done before, and it's well worth experimenting with it, see how far you can go. So the next thing we're going to do is stretch our obliques down the side here. So we're going to get into our side plank position. I'm going to have your elbow underneath your shoulder, and then from here I'm going to tense and squeeze, contract the muscles on your side, and then down again. Do this 5 or 10 times just to make sure you can feel the squeeze there. Then we're going to stretch them out. We're going to start with the arm all the way out, and then we're going to bring it up. I'm going to keep my hips on the floor, and I'm going to stretch my obliques here. And then each time I can try and bring the hand in a little bit closer to make this angle a little bit sharper. Do that until you've got a nice stretch going on your obliques.
Next one we're going to move on to is going to be the cobra and the prayer position. So you're going to have your chest down onto the floor, and we're going to make sure that try and get your feet touching together. From there, put your hands underneath your shoulders, and we're just going to be lightly pushing up. Go to the top of your current range of motion, and then back down. And work your way through that, I'd say about 5 times. Once you've done it, and you can hold it, we're going to go all the way up, try and keep our hips low, and then looking up at the sky. Hold that there for about 10 seconds. You can change the angles of it from side to side as well. Once you've done that, try and keep your weight down and push through your arms, leaning all the way back until your bum is by your heels. Again, we're going to hold it for a few seconds. From there, we're going to get our chin down towards the floor and push up one more time. So we've done the front of our body. This is a really good one for our lower back and just the sides of your hips again. But this is what we call window wiper. Now you can do this on your front and you can do it on your back, where you're getting your knees together and your hands underneath your shoulders. You're gonna keep your weight on your hands, and all we're doing is dropping our bum down to one side. You should feel the stretch all down here and on your lower back. And then we're just going over to the other one. Just bouncing a few times, keeping the stretch dynamic, but just working through it. This is a really good stretch to draw some blood flow to the lower back, so just work through about 10 to 30 reps of this one. Really, really good one to get you ready for your tricking session. Another lower back and glute stretch. First of all, sit yourselves down. You're gonna get your knees into this position. Then just pick one of your legs and we're gonna cross it over. From there, first little easy one, do about 10 reps of these. This is good for warming up the core, lower back and your glutes. We're going to be lifting it up and trying to keep the foot in that position there so it's side on, and getting the leg up towards your chest as much as you can. Then swap over and do it the other side. Hitting back, go back to that position. This is another really good one, variation on the window wiper. We're going to be getting this knee over to this side. So keeping your chest down, we're going to collapse over. So we get into this twisted position. You can use your hand, try and pull your knee down a little bit more. It's really good for targeting the lower back and the glute. And you can add a little bit of motion to it as well. Then swap over, do it again the other side, keeping this chest down, just working through the range of motion.
So continuing up the body, we're going to stretch our chest now. So for this one, we're going to be doing some dynamic stretches, bring the arms out to the sides. The range of motion with this one is really important, so you want to make sure you get your arms out as far as you can. That's what these extra pulses at the ends are for. You're going to vary the angles each time you do it to make sure you can hit all parts of your chest, especially here by the shoulder joint. You can use the elbows, you can do it with the arms up, with the biceps out, you can do it with the palms up and all the way out to the side. Then we're going to come over to the wall and do a variation, so put the palm up high and we can just start to turn the whole body around until you can feel the stretch moving down here. Move the hand down, same thing, down even further, same thing. Run through all on one side and then all on the other. Do as many reps as you need until you can feel the stretch right here and you can get a little bit further than when you started. While we're over here at the wall, another great stretch to do with your shoulders. I'm going to be standing, facing alongside the wall, one hand out until my arm is straight, palm on the wall here. Then I'm going to reach all the way over the top. I'm going to try and get my fingers onto the fingertips here without bending my upper body over towards it. Once I can reach it here, I'm going to go a little bit further. I can put the fingertips on the wall and drop the hand down, and I can go a little bit further so I've got this weight pulling me down. I'm just trying to get until this palm can get a little bit closer to the wall. Again, do that on both sides. Stretch your obliques, stretch your shoulders.
So we've done our shoulders, working our way down the arms. We're going to be going to our wrists. Pretty important for tricking, obviously for doing cartwheels, scoots, etc. So start off, we're just going to get our hands linked together and just do a wrist roll like this. You can try going the other way. Shaking out the hands. Next we're just going to go motorbike, so up and down with your wrists. Then popping it on the ground, and we're just going to put our weight slightly onto our wrists like you're doing a press up or something like that. We're just leaning over one side to the other. You can circle your body weight as well. And then just shaking them out one more time. Just keep going through these as many times as you need to until you can start to feel a little bit of a blood flow down your forearms, then you know you're ready to go. And working our way up to the very top, we're going to be covering the neck. Pretty important if we're doing any flips and twisting like that. So, dead easy one to start off with. All we're going to be doing is just taking our head over to one side. Just do this gently and slowly work your way over to the other side. We're going to come back to the middle, down and up. Good. And you can do it dynamically as well. Good. Once you've done that, take your arm across. This is a stretch for the shoulder, so keeping the arm straight that you're stretching, bringing the arm across like this. It's also really good for the neck as we turn away. Start to get a stretch on the outside of it here, and just doing it both sides. Good, and we should be good to trick.
Alright, so that was our warm-up. So the number of reps that we gave you in that are just an example. If you need to do more, then go ahead, you do as many reps as you need to get to your maximum flexibility and maximum range of motion.
And once you've done all of those stretches, you can now start to work on things like your basic kicks, your basic tricks, so like cartwheels and that sort of thing, little combos to complete your warm-up and get you ready for your tricking session.
So if you've liked this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and then whenever you're doing your warm-ups, upload them to Instagram and tag us at Vanguard Tricking. And that is about it. We'll see you next time, guys.
Peace!